I gotta say, I think there is some truth to the allegations. I think a lot of M80's success, not all of it, but a lot of it does really come down to the fact that they've got two of the best players in the world, Spoit and Citizen. One is one of the best entries, and the other's one of the best lurkers.
Yep. Definitely, doesn't present any negatives. That's the key thing, right? And that's kind of hard to find in a game like Siege, where somebody is just that good. So, yeah, I definitely think that has some merit to it. But the thing is that a squad like C9BC, they are more than capable of taking that away from them. I mean, we saw Gunnar himself. This is still just the craziest thing to me about the Manchester Major win. They just completely bodied BEDS like they were any other team. They did not sit there and quiver in their corner or anything like that and go, oh, Shaco's on the other team. Like, no, they did not care at all. It was truly impressive. So we might have another one of those moments here today. I don't think the bright lights have ever been a major consideration for C9BC.
Border is kind of a funny map for C9BC though, because they won this map against BDS 7-5, and then in EWC Open Quals, they lost at 6-8 to a team called Skibbity Goobers. So, it's a record not without its blemishes. But yes, I do agree with your point that it is obviously a very good record for them, a very good map for them. Let's see how M80 starting out on the defense are able to counter it. On Border, we know the standard fare. We know with Armory side, odds are they're going to start east first. And in this case, well, that's not entirely correct, because it's the other option, CCTV instead. Hot and Cold has removed Cameraman for the equation, and Gunnar, persevering through his teammates Candelas, has weaved his way all the way from east stairs to find Spoit inside of 90. Now he'll go down soon after. But down doing, well, all the heavy lifting there as Hyper and Kino both get active. And the CC push, what gathered a 5v3, has now resulted in C9 Beast Coast wondering what the hell just happened.
You know what's so messed up about this M80 squad? And now that we're bringing up just talented players, right? You got Spoit, you got Citizen. Hyper's just been dusting off his play this stage. And every single time we see him, man, I swear he's getting better and better. And it's really terrifying, Carter. It's really terrifying because Hyper used to be one of those players that if it was Hyper against the world, you might pick Hyper. It's definitely pretty crazy that M80 have gotten another pretty successful, operator, or rather player, in their lineup. Spirits, nice little pick there with the sniper, but I don't assume it's going to go too far, is it? Case is decently arms reach away. Have this player in behind the bomb chassis. One fountain. Oh, it was close, but no cigar. A triple kill for Hyper on that round, and a little help from Kino will get it done.
Back later on. We'll see if it even matters here, though, because... all right. So... Hot and Cold is somehow entering flow state again. I'm getting cafe flashbacks at the moment. Thank God the site is not Armory, because otherwise he would be right in it with the best of them. In a very awkward situation, but Beast Coast coming away the victors.
I lost the capability of speech there for a moment. That is, the timing right now for these two squads is absolutely ludicrous.
The Lord given.
Yeah, yes it does. I'm telling you, Carter, I'm telling you, man, what is happening in round two? Every single angle that could potentially be exploited, somebody's there at the very turn of the tide.
And quiet. That's the big takeaway. Thank God the chaos is over. Now we can chill for the next minute or so. Exactly. 2v3. Got a ghost in the shell on the top floor. Scopos could always shift positions later on, but it is C9BC with the advantage. And what a hell of a few operators you've got remaining. All of Sens' light screens. They're slowly moving forward, but the time is running out to drone. The time is running out to gather this intel, and yet they make good use of it. With still 5 remaining, you'd hope they would, but better teams have made worse mistakes, but not so. C9BC recognized that position, pushed forth for the diffuser. Gabini cuts down Hyper in the very position we just saw. And as Kino tries his best to create a rotate, this round is pretty much already gone. One just around the corner. The long angle fight goes first. And the last for Kino to take. C9BC answer M80s with one of their own. See if it works out. A little bit slower affair. Hot and Cold, the first one to go down. Involved in every duel so far. Just unfortunate on the wrong side of the pain train this go around. A lot more discomfort for Cloud9 at the moment. They've been outside this Armory balcony for what feels like 2 minutes now. Definitely the entirety of the round since they've been up here. Spoit just cuts down Diffuser the moment that nade leaves his hand. Talk about a round from the Wonder Kid. Entirely his efforts shutting this down. He spots another and through the wall. Traces him. I mean, what do you even do at this point? Just one secondary. Gunner's found his way into the site. That's cool, I guess, but so much has already gone awry. There's vertical angles as well, aplenty, and a hatch to rotate back. So getting a sneaky plant is completely out of the question. Just hoping that one M80 defender will retreat.
No, Spoit.
Well, not today, unfortunately.
Is he the third patient with Neuralink? Like, what is happening right now? What is going on? It's all up to Spirits. He ARX is down 1. Citizen gets absolutely dusted, but M80 across the board. And I mean, I'll give you this one, Diffuser.
Across the board?
It was Spoit. It was Spoit.
Look at him laughing.
Dude, laughing straight to the bank.
He's chuckling. Like, what do you even need to do after that? Like, you take 4 1v1s.
He just looked at the camera and gave that little smirk. He's like, tee-hee. Like, come on, man.
He heard me.
Oh.
Face made for content creation.
Actually. Mechanics made for highlight reels. Look at this one right here specifically. Gunner is waiting, but even he's caught off guard. He's like, oh wait, he's actually swinging me like this? Craziness.
On no planet did I think that Spoit probably just reacted, but on no planet I thought he was getting away with that, and he did. Good work from Spoit. 4K. Now the top fragger after 1 round. The kind of thing you have to deal with sometimes when you're playing Spoit.
What do you do when the hero plays start to win rounds? I mean, come on. It's all so very scary, so tantalizing for the offense to try and take control of. They're gonna try and go direct. They sneak in through jungle. They don't see the other player though. It's an immediate trade. Case is in whose hands? It's in Diffuser's hands, and he's inside of Customs.
Well, that's very fitting, isn't it? I mean, good reaction from Diffuser right there to get that trade as Chaos unfolds upon the top floor. Diffuser in the uncomfortable position of actually having to plant something. He'll at least hold on for the time being, but the element of surprise is gone, and with the hatch opened up, ooh, he dropped Diffuser as well, so you'll have to rotate around. Now plant closer to the door instead, but he's still wide open to a couple different angles, even through the hatch all the way upstairs. This site is anything but secure, and M80 will send that fact home. Spoit and Citizen both retake the site in full force. So Gunner's got to try and mount something out of nothing. One spot in the single window. That'll be Kino to go down, but Public Enemies number 1 and 2 are inside of the A site. They'll even go to pick up their fallen brother, or sister in this case, as the mirror now brought back to 20 HP with the Boss G. M80 move up 3-1.
It's clean. It's clean so far from M80, man. But instead, a timeout burnt for C9BC, a 2-round lead for M80 on this defensive half so far, and looking to close things out here in round 5 and 6.
A little bit of quick peek from Spoit. Not the Doc. Not the Doc!
What?
Not the Doc spawn peek in round 5.
There's no way.
Diffuser eating his words right now. I wish he did not tempt fate, unfortunately. Because Spoit has promoted himself to Doc and now moved up 7-2. Looking rough. Oh, that was Diffuser that died too. Man.
Yeah.
Talk about things that have aged poorly. I can't even call this beef watch because I think the beef has been squashed.
Yeah, and it's been squashed by one man and one man only. Now, Hot and Cold will try and bring them back into it. Just for a glimpse there, he saw the head of the player, but oh man, dancing around the shots right now.
Looking for it. Talk about somebody who's had a pretty big glow up. Cameraman doing surprisingly well this stage alongside the rest of his team. Oh, dodges that nade. That's so key. Stimmed back up too, just to be safe. He's been the recipient of that stim pistol 2 times now. Deathmark Tracker will go through, but you can't really reach that corner. Look at how much time Cameraman is wasting by just remaining alive. He's allowed Spoit to get into position, be the overwatch he needs. Spirits might trade, but M80 have retaken the momentum solidly. Kino can spot one. Hot and Cold and Spirits far too separated. One tagged up, the other just around the corner, but the BP giving intel to M80 when they need it most. Just hold on for dear life, and you'll get round 4 in no time.
Fantastic round from M80. Can we talk about the mechanics from Kino right there? That was disgusting movement right there on curve. Oh my gosh. Felt like he was in the Matrix for a split second, but I digress. M80, extremely well done on the top floor. They needed to try and stand tall in certain positions, and the one that ended up being the most important was obviously Cameraman inside of Fountain. Not only with the big kills, but also with the big time delay that allowed the rest of his team to exploit, C9 to their fullest potential. They're trying to dig him out of that Fountain position. Big kills coming out left and right by Spoit especially, and just C9BC never really having an opportunity to find a home for that case. Cells to try and head it off at the pass. The Nitro cell out. It doesn't get out the window though. 0 damage, no dice over on Gunner's side.
2 times now he's dodged this radio C4. Last round almost to the success of Cloud9. Diffuser down. Someone's been having a rough game so far. Kino hops out the window to try to duel spirits. Instead, it's the Ying that comes away the victor. Cloud9 with a much-needed advantage that's only widened further. 3 rounds in a row, M80 about a stranglehold on these opening picks, and now it's all on Citizen, which I've had worse players to watch try to work a 1vx. You can certainly hear one. Moving around the passport position, shot through the barricade a little bit. Seems to be Gavini, and on 40 HP as well. Citizen could find a 1v1 right here, and one that he would likely win. Especially as the odds he's been red here are quite small. There's still time to drone. 30 seconds remaining. So Gavini, will you dot your I's? Oh, he does not.
Oh?
Oh,
No way.
And he does! A voice creeps in his head. Check the quarter! And he gets the kill as a result. Only a 4-2 half, but a round that was potentially make or break for Cloud9 Beast Coast, depending on how much M80 have left in the tank. And definitely it should go with saying, I suppose, or it's important to note, oh, not again. Oh, not again. Hot and cold. Somebody taking this fight.
No
Firebolt
way.
into the corner. Well,
Sir?
He's killed Hyper, and he's gotten away! Oh, he gets traded out at the last second, but that is insane that Hot and Cold gets a kill there. Spoit tries to rappel into the sandwich window, and, well, he's wishing he hopped right back out instead of committing to that fight. Kino, well, takes my advice and makes it clear that the point is moot either way. Citizen will try to recover in the 1v3. He's revealed his position on top metal, and that's all she wrote. Not a lead or a tie game yet, but Cloud9 effectively repel the storm on Armory and Archives.
What an awkward moment to call for that there from M80. They're so aggressive when they don't really have any opener on the site just yet. Specifically, I don't know if Spoit just accidentally hit his jump button or whatever, but he flew in sandwich window on what seemed just such an odd time. Hot and cold with that big pick there, and yeah, it's an obvious trade here, but C9BC had so many cooks upstairs, man, and they ended up cooking up M80 at every corner. And we could see some creative, liberties granted to him with these cluster charges here in just a moment. Oh.
All right. Well, I think...
Well,
Diffuser, I think letting the content trash talk influence his thinking a little too aggressively. Thinks he can get away with far more than he can. Keynote trying to do the same will unleash the cluster charge, and the Spirits also has to think better of it. Ducks for cover into small office, and he's got the hatch open to fall back very soon. But Hyper is able to cut down Gunner, and things are looking problematic for Cloud9 Beast Coast. One player drops directly in front of the hatch. One player peeks the door. 4 players from Cloud9 Beast Coast have completely availed themselves to the guns of M80, and it's a flawless round as a result. A strong performance in round 7, and anything but in the subsequent round.
Work his way back over towards east. No rotation out of C9BC just yet, and they're another one of these teams that can be quite reactive. We touched on that a bit with Wildcard in our last game, and the way that they would try and just get at the throats of their opponent when certain things happen around the map. Man count goes down a bit, oh, we're swinging. Wall gets popped open, we're throwing utility. Whatever it is, that's what they were trying to accomplish. C9BC can definitely be very reactive in that way as well, but in turn, it's going to be the opposite direction. They're going to fly back downstairs. Citizen on that lurk roll, as we know him best for. We'll find Gavini inside of the site.
And immediately dips back out. Love that discipline. Just keep the 5v4. You've still got 50 seconds. You don't need to push any further than you already have. Kino spots just a little bit of Gunner's leg and traces him through the wall. A little shock on his face that he landed that one. It's to Cloud9's detriment. 5-3 and still 30 seconds remaining. With this kind of advantage, that could be eons with them right above the site. Spirits reads this correctly. He's got to disrupt it somehow. He'll creep his way along the 90 hallway, but there's a cutoff held. The cameraman, they've got bodies to spare. They're allowed to watch the 90 hallway, the one place they can really be destroyed. One player goes down the hatch, and Hot and Cold can't even find that one. Hyper will go down, and Diffuser's able to find one, but only one. He'll hold. Where is this Diffuser? It's on the opposite side, and there's a gun right on top of it. Time might be on his side, but he needed to land that shot, and it simply will not happen. M80 closer and closer, one round away from stealing their opponent's pick right out from under them.
Man, they're doing a really good job of putting a cap on these aggressive tendencies, Carter. I swear, I looked down at my notes, I looked back up, the cadence in your voice hadn't changed, so I had no clue, and I just was like, well, Kino's dead. Like, what just happened? This man just got hit with the intervention from break room door. Oh, Doke on visual action there.
You don't need that. You don't need the Dokkaebi. Don't need it.
Yeah, but it's the one thing you probably want the most, honestly, especially on a map like Border, right? But for M80, going to be something that they're going to be lacking sorely throughout this round. But they definitely still have some utility pieces that can help them clear things out, specifically this Deimos that could be of quite a bit of use.
You do wish you had that Dokkaebi in tandem just to get the direct intel on one person, general intel to allow for a really quick execute, but the Deimos can still work. Certainly can still work. Gavini cut down. Still the Boss G in play. Gunnar taking that Gavini spot. He'll reveal his position, but it's probably already well known. 4v4, and time probably still favoring M80 as long as they can acquire either the CCTV and the East Stairs control or pressure in pretty good time. Diffuser will rotate out as nobody's actively watching East. He's clearly concerned about it, but he has found a little bit of a gap in the attacking side right now. Oh, well, never mind. They've got direct intel on that. And we'll see if Diffuser is actually punished for it. Shots sailing by him. Now Gunnar a bit isolated. Deathmark tracker will go out.
And now M80 have got to look into some other means in order to try and take this fight. Spoit's going to work his way back over towards the security side of this window. And indeed, but when's the actual fight bell going to be rung? It's right now, and it's practically instantaneous as Gunnar will take him down with the Boss G.
RKO with one shot, 1v4. Citizen can find one, but nope, nothing else. Cloud9 managed to fight back after dropping 2 rounds in a row. Gunnar, massive performance.
Found the cam. That's usually the area you look for. Right there on Dome. Diffuser with a big moment. You were thinking about him while he was dreaming of Hyper. No, gun him down outside on the balcony. As the angle, the smoke comes through, Diffuser's gonna try and spam it, but he'll only tag Kino. Just a scrap of his HP falls off. And Diffuser will line up the headshot. Kino, too lackadaisical in the hallway, and now Cloud9 is dusting M80. They might have them at every single entry, every single facet, all orifices blocked off. C9BC find a beautiful round to try and bring this scoreline back to bear.
Oh, look at this. Oh, he sees him! Trying to take this fight. Certainly favor the Blackbeard, unfortunately. That shield will tank it. You have to put one back on right afterwards. It was the castle, I believe, that actually downed Kino. Gunnar will be able to cross soon afterwards, and there we go. Gavini fights it one too many times. A pretty ingenious answer to that problem, and with Gunnar falling on the rotate, M80 have found the solution to their CCTV problem. Citizen spots another creeping around the East Stairs, though that's a problem for another time. Oh, well.
Oh. Well, for Diffuser, it was a problem for right now, wasn't it?
Unfortunate. Unfortunate indeed.
Most definitely. Almost feel more bad for Gunnar. He just drops right into the waiting arms of Citizen. It's the one person you always have to be concerned with on that lurk roll, and probably one of the best nooks that we've had in history. Usually whenever I think of that character, I think of Citizen and I think of Aces. And, well, Citizen obviously making his presence known inside of this one. It's down to 2 instead of a 2 versus 5. We saw a lot of opportunities from our roster wildcard earlier in moments like this, but It is a Herculean effort we're going to have to see out of C9BC here. Hot and Cold might be the starter, though.
Might just be. Him and Spirit's able to flank, pinch that Nook. There's a couple on East stairs, but they're all ready for him. Hot and Cold still looks to take the fight, but there's simply too many angles to worry about. This game has gone in fits and starts. A Beast Coast dominant victory, an M80 streak. But 2 rounds can separate the winner and the loser in regulation, and it's M80 looking on top. 7-5 on Cloud9's pick. M80's Clubhouse coming up next, Sam. Our major champs might have an early date in the LCQ if they don't play their cards right.
Yes, sir. I think Foxay might have had the script there. Are we going to see the 2-0? The 2-0 that he said it had to happen. And if we don't, that makes things even sweeter on Nighthaven Labs, the potential with how that could go. So I want to make sure that there isn't anybody in that neck of the woods.
Oh, Gavini spotted. A bit too far off the beaten path, and he falls to the 5-5-6. Candela's flying by, Diffuser, Hot and Cold, and Gunner, both winning their respective fights. The initial M80 execute stalled for the time being, and Cloud9 Beast Coast able to win everything after that first engagement. Kino storms up the stairs, but few shield, you can protect one way, and you're exposed pretty aggressively on the other. Lost the opening pick, but Cloud9 Beast Coast win everything after that to take their first. Once everyone started rotating back for Cloud9 before, M80 were not up to snuff to dealing with those engagements. Oh, all right. Spoit.
Oh.
Spoit's walking down blue. They've decided to go with the rush, and unfortunately, Diffuser was ready for it, playing on that blue hatch the entire time. He popped a couple Vulcan packs there, and then immediately dropped in M80 Sam. That gamble did not pay off.
And none of it working out M80's way. Hyper's going to drop into blue. He should be dead at a moment's notice, and he will be. He'll get one for his stats, and that's about it. Cloud9 BC will take round 2 as well. And, you know, it starts to beg the question, what are we going to see out of the audibles here from M80?
And what we see in early tactical timeout, depending on... Oh, right now. All right, sounds good.
Wow, look at you, man. Well done. Pat on the back.
Listen, I really am quite something. What can I say?
Easy peasy. Hyper will finally take out one and make it a 4 versus 3. Citizen, seemingly an oracle here. Is he going to have him knock out the window? Oh, he is.
Oh, no.
I think he's in the stairwell, so he's okay for right now, but it is definitely worrisome. Oh, Gunner gets one. Citizen, are you going to go for the hop? If he does, this Lusion pistol will just immediately remove him from play. That pistol in close range is disgusting. What do you... Gunner.
He's playing with him.
That was strictly for broadcast, dude. Nobody... What are you debagging a drone for?
No. Not only for broadcast, but for himself as well. Nice shot by Gunner. Citizen is able to remove garage control, so no Capital be damned. It costs a lot of his HP. And M80 know that Cav is in the wind, and I imagine that's not going to be a comforting thought to any of the 2 remaining players. Citizen with the Diffuser going the breach. He's going to have to make this cross with the Diffuser, and on 1 HP, and Red's still a factor. This is going to be difficult. That's why the flashbangs are oh so important, so he will creep in, but there's one down below, and Gunner's the man to do it. Timeout wasted, unfortunately, as no recovery to insight for M80. 3 rounds in a row for Cloud9, and it's all laughs and good times.
9, and it's singing it properly. You know, this is something that's going down in the history books here, at least for how dominant we've seen things so far, and they want to make sure that they... Wow. They pick up this chapter where they left off, right? Gunner's going to clip Kino outside with the Boss G. You can see why a lot of people have this thing in its crosshairs for a little bit of a nerf in the near future. And now they've got some semblance of control over this cache area. This is going to help out a lot as well, as Citizen will take down Gavini, but not before they donate another player. But fortunately enough, we do have another big pickup, as we're going to have yet another body fall for C9, but the same could be said for M80 with a minute remaining. It's 3-2 in favor of C9 BC.
If Houston doesn't get that kill, I think M80 have a pretty good shot back into this. Arguably, they still do. Might be in the disadvantage, but with that Boss G, I mean, what are you to do at that point? 4 rounds in a row now. Commendable recovery in the mid-round for M80, and then it began and ended with Cloud9 Beast Coast.
Going to slow things down a little bit, especially with the way that things have been going. that's more than likely going to pay off. It starts to, at least initially here. All that drone work leads to a nice frag, but they will get a couple shots back. Cameraman's in the neighborhood, though, and the neighborhood watch is ready to play. They'll take out Gavini and give them man advantage yet again here for basically the very first time throughout this entire clubhouse. 18 seconds, 15 seconds when this hatch actually pops and Diffuser's gonna fly in. He hits the deck, but it's actually hot and cold to deliver. The camera got me there for just a second, but it's gonna be Cameraman that goes down. Citizen will respond in kind, and we might actually have a plant that's successful here. That Candela goes off. It blinds Citizen entirely. He turns on a dime, tries to kill the man inside of blue. This case will successfully go down. Spirits doesn't exactly know where it is. Try and work around the smoke. Knows there's got to be one deeper inside of Arsenal, but he just cannot find the angle. It's actually going to be a nice rotation here out of Citizen as well as he heads back up towards Kitchen. They've got everything implemented for this round to be successful.
Every single thing. Spirit's desperately trying to find this gunfight, and Kino finally gives it. You know somebody's rotating back to that hatch. Can he find it around the corner? And does Citizen have the angle? Will he have to drop? Yes, he does. Spirits hears the sound cue, but there's so little time remaining. The kill does not matter. You've won the battle, but lost the war. And maybe still a hill to climb, but at least one round in the first half.
Full man count for both respective sides, and in the dying moments of this round, something's got to give.
Something's got to. I mean, M80, technically speaking, have everything they want. There's no roamers to speak of, no real potential for flanks. Cloud9 Beast Coast might have the angles, but Citizen is now going to use those Deathmark trackers to try and give himself an advantageous gunfight in blue. Spirits wins the first engagement. Hyper falls. You still got to worry about Citizen, though. He could still win the round from this position. Well, he could have. That's a past tense thing, not a present tense thing. As it's a 5-1 half for Cloud9 Beast Coast. That's what's happening right now. All the gunfights go their way, and that one blip in round 5 is just a small bit of green in a wide ocean of blue.
Well. Really not too much to be said about that one, is there? Just quickly dispatched, and C9BC very happy with the results. A 5-1 half for them. And, I mean, what else can be said? They play things out on a dime there, man. That pacing change catches M80 completely off guard. They really don't have a game plan implemented to try and spearhead in and get those big pickups. And nothing really coming of it. But a long road ahead of them now. That's the key thing. The wildest thing to me as of right now is that this is M80's map pick. Clubhouse is where they wanted to take C9BC to, and these offenses have not came easy, not in the slightest.
You can criticize a little bit, but that 5v4, now 4v4, has not really come with any further benefits. Well, I spoke just about a nanosecond too soon, because Cloud9 immediately fills the remaining space on the mid floor and shuts down every single roamer remaining. WTP called out.
They might already be ready to go, and it seems like they are. A call available, not as of now, to Spirits. They will end up popping this Goyo, and that's going to make things very low time based over on this far side. And
what?
Wow. Yes, indeed. I think M80 just spammed through, or rather specifically Kino, just spammed through, I believe, Kool-Aid Wall and killed both of those players rotating out of the church hallway. I'm not even lying. We're about to see it here in a minute because we're going to have the replay, but that my money is on him spamming Ashwall, Kool-Aid, whatever you guys call it at home. It's that first panel there when you come out of the bottom main stairs on the left-hand side. I guarantee you he spams that and gets both these kills. Let's watch here through these replays. At least gets those. Kino,
no, we don't see.
Man, I thought we had it implemented where we got to see everybody at home.
I think you're obviously correct. I mean, like, they were in moto, they're backing off, they die right as the two players are moving up through blue. I mean, that seems to make perfect sense to me. That was match point. Like, that was match point. Easy mode right there. Oh, we do have it.
Oh no, he just
wow,
swung.
he just swung main. He just swung bottom main. All right, well.
Yo, shout out Ferme, shout out the replay guy, shout out everybody over at production. We love you guys. Really appreciate that one. Yeah, they reached into their bag for that to find that for us, Carter. But yeah, no, damn is right, my friend. They'll hope that they can somehow dispatch those mute jammers, but it's not looking like that's really an option as of right now. They're going to try and work their way up the main stairs. Diffuser gets one. It's traded out in kind. It's a 4 versus 4. Some Furnox gas will pour in, and Cameraman will get one for his pleasures as Kino and M80 will be taking out C9. My brain blends everything together there. But hey, C9BC, a way back into this can be found? No, not as of right now. Gunner's gonna get gunned down. It's all down to hot and cold as he'll barrel up his way to heaven, essentially, up the stairwell. Not really much to be found. And I mean, it really just comes back to what we saw implemented there by M80, just keeping things kind of locked up around the windows and forcing them to try and work their way up that main stairwell. Diffuser will drop on in. And wow. Wow, oh wow. Sometimes sometimes, like I said, it's better to not speak, but sometimes it's better to make your presence known, Carter. EMP out to try and assist with anything that is potentially in flight or it's another electronic in the area. Hyper's going to get a big frag. Gunner will respond in kind, though, and it's going to come down to the wire here. Who's got this case? It's actually going to be hot and cold this time around. He's going to try and switch over to the server side. He'll swing through, and on the worst timing possible, Hyper will find 2. No rock out there for the tail end of that. Very happy with the results of that. And Spoit probably pretty happy with that as well, as he was the one that was randomly spammed by this man just earlier on in that round. But his life was not needed. It's not necessary for an M80 victory, as they were capable of shutting down the take from the construction side. I mean, there is a couple solid spots to put him over. Oh.
I like that.
That position is just so crazy. How does Spirits get all the way down here and that nade get in there as well? There's just so many displacement tactics from C9BC, and they tear 2 lives away from the defense.
I like that Asail that, like, they're not just bringing Fuse for the shield. There's no point with the gadget. You bring the ballistic shield, a gun behind him, and of course the pistol himself. Cloud9 Beast Coast have completely hollowed out AKs. Citizen with that C4 might just find 2, might just equal the game right here if he can time this secondary utility just right. Hyper picks up 1, and there we go. The shield saves him, but it's a 3v3 as Beast Coast go in for the kill. Spirits' finishes off Citizen. Hot and Cold puts the diffuser down, so it's 2-on-2 when it comes to guns. Hyper very low HP as Spoit ducks for cover inside of the default plant spot. Impact goes out as Hyper falls to the wayside. And the boy Wonder must now do the most to deny match point from the hands of Cloud9 Beast Coast. There's one. Ballistic Shield can't do much there. Deagle shots wrap around, and one more, and you've got time. Oh, you have time. Full reinforcements as well. He'll try to style on him. Deagle in hand, Gavini creeps forward as Spoit sticks it. He turns around, sprays, takes the fight, and commits! Cuts him down. 3K for our boy. 5-5.
That might be one of the most insane 1v3s I've ever seen, Carter. Period. Fuse shield. Another man overseeing that. Great position for Gavini in blue. In every single decision that Spoit makes, it seems like it's just gospel. Let's see this again. Disgusting. What a shot here, first of all. And then the immediate decision. That's what gets me. He knows exactly what he must do. And then he gets Gavini in this perfect situation. He plays the case out to the absolute nth degree. Gavini creeps up to the door, and as soon as he hears him take that step, he gets off the case. He knows that he's now got him positioned in an area in which he has some influence. He has some semblance of where Gavini is. And that info check, just the icing on the cake there, man. Got to lean that into that moment as well. The fact that he used just that little split-second image into blue to see Gavini on the AC unit. Come on, Carter. Come on, man. You can't write it better. That's disgusting stuff out of Spoit there. Potential influence building up here too. A frag grenade out, a lot of damage dealt towards him. Does it even get the mute jammer because it fell back into the floor? Yeah, I was a little worried there, but it does indeed get it. Gunner will get 1. There's no way they're going to keep risking this, right? Now I'm starting to worry. Now I'm starting to question what the hell's going to go on here. And I'm the one with X-ray vision. Diffuser's going to get Cameraman. That's a 5v3, 5v2 in favor of C9BC.
it is an absolute. It's just an absolute shit show in CCTV Cash. I mean, Cloud9 Beast Coast might get a 5v2, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like, we're firebolting, we're nading, we're shooting holes through the floor, throwing everything just to get this advantage. But, to be fair, they've got it. They've got this 5 versus 2. It might have cost almost everything. But if they can hold on to this, surely they can close it out. Kino with the first one, Gavini with the second. But again, this advantage is too strong. You can drop a couple bodies and still come away the victors. Some intel inside of the site, but Kino walks right into Logi, spots one, transfers onto the other. No way. Not like this. Hard pings on the next one. Diffuser with the shotgun. Not 2 1v3s in a row! You're fucking kidding me, man! 6 to 5? 5 in a row? We're just doling them out like candy at this point. What is even the point of playing round 12?
Halloween's came early this year. Candyland for M80 across the board. Kino as well as Spoit showing up to play and having back-to-back highlight reel rounds to pull these away from C9BC. I mean, this is unprecedented. This is something that we never see. It's a seldom thing. It's an oddity, honestly, even when 1-1VX happens in such a grandiose fashion. But to have two from the same squad as well, truly disgusting stuff. M80, it's like the stars have aligned and God is on their side. They can do no wrong. They can't. It's always green lights for them every single step of the way. But just to be real for a second as well, wow, Kino and Spoit, both of these players just so gifted in a moment like that to not only have the mechanics to pull something like that off, but also have that mindset. The fact that they're still playing out those positions like, hey, I just got to make a few right clicks and that's it. I can totally win this round. And they both get it done. Incredible.
I'm thinking.
Incredible.
Just thinking about Anthony Fantano reacting to Meet the Gramps 2 times. How did you let it happen twice?
Sir, a second clutch has hit the server.
It has. Dude, like, the voices in their head right now have got to be going crazy. The self-doubt's starting to creep in. I mean, they've been in positions like this before, but, like, 2 1v3s back-to-back, a 2v3, a 2v4 in round 7. M80 have only won 1 round on their terms, and it was round 8. Every other, to quote Diffuser, has been hero plays made off the back of somebody from M80. Well, you tempted fate, and I think he's coming to regret it. 1 round away, the major champions, Cloud9 Beast Coast, could find themselves in the LCQ in a moment's notice, Sam.
And C9BC want the construction offense again. That does mean there is going to be a couple of things they have to worry about. Specifically, do you see Hyper right over there? That's the big one. Huge crossing guard there when it comes to this portion of the map, and anybody tries to get aggressive. Also, speaking of aggressive, I was going to say, I don't know why we're switching away from Spoit because he wanted it so bad, and he's going to get it. Gavini will trade things out onto Cameraman, though. But Spoit, he gets 2. He's got all of construction to himself. He's going to hamstring the entire offense, and they're getting boxed out of construction right now actively by Kino Smokes. They've got it down to a 3 versus 3. They've never had something like this.
It's been quite rare. But look at all the utility gone. All of Kino Smoke's gone, as you mentioned, but the 2 C4s from M80. And I don't know how much time C9 Beast Coast have to go down below. I don't know if they have the manpower to get it done. Gavini needs to win this fight in Garage. He checks the corner first. Kino wins his. Hyper cuts him down. And that's all she wrote. Your major champions, your Manchester major champions, Cloud9 Beast Coast, find themselves down in the LCQ. A 2-0 loss to M80. Unbelievable.
Holy hell, boys. Holy hell. What a game out of M80. And the thing was, man, it wasn't clean. It wasn't kosher. It was a scrappy game that came down to some key highlight moments out of M80, but specifically 2 huge clutch moments out of Spoit as well as Kino. Let's roll the tape here, folks. A lot of hot action coming out of M80 versus C9BC.
Capitalizing off of those mistakes expertly. And thank you. I mean, that was an insane day. I'm sure Gabe, Fox, Korbeck, they got a lot to say about this one.